Chapter number 2, Shloka number 9. Sanjay Uvacha Evam Mukta Kesham Buddha Kesha Parantapaha Nayotsa iti Govindam Uttva Tushnim Bahuaha. Sanjay said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemy, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, fell silent. Purport. Dhritarashtra must have been very glad to understand that Arjuna was not going to fight and was instead leaving the battlefield for the begging profession. But Sanjaya disappointed him again in relating that Arjuna was competent to kill his enemies. Parantapaha. Although Arjuna was for time being overwhelmed with a false grief due to family affection, he surrendered unto Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, as a disciple. This indicated that he would soon be free from the false lamentation resulting from family affection and would be enlightened with perfect knowledge of self-realization or Krishna consciousness, and would then surely fight. Thus, Dhritarashtra's joy would be frustrated, since Arjuna would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to the end. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Adati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Saraswati Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Plangayate Guru Yat Kripa Tamaham Bante Shri Guru Dinatarum Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. It's an interesting junction where Arjuna, after speaking everything, after submitting himself, after sharing his heart with a lot of overwhelming situation, he said, my dear Krishna, I cannot fight further. He gave everything. Now he's putting everything in the hands of the Lord. Actually, this is what every pure soul they aspire for. They put everything in the hands of Guru and Krishna. Then now you tell what to be done. I did whatever I was supposed to do, but nothing worked for me. Now I'm putting everything, full faith. Manasya dehagya jo kich morar piloto padan Kishwara. Everything belongs to you. My mind, body, intelligence, everything should run for you. Everything is for your pleasure. With that state, Arjuna is not speaking. Now, the moment Dhritarashtra heard this, it's another interesting aspect. Now, when somebody is not fighting, somebody is not doing their duty, the persons who are little envious towards that person, they will be happy because they don't see that person to move forward. They don't see that person to elevate, or they don't see that person to be victorious. So Dhritarashtra was actually becoming happy because Arjuna was not fighting, and then he said, Arjuna said right before, I will give up this kingdom. I will take renunciation. He is remembering all those words. And he's hoping that Arjuna will come to that state. Why is he hoping that Arjuna will come to that state? Because if Arjuna comes to that state, then he is benefited, right? Because his son will become the king. That is what he's expecting. If Arjuna do not fight, then almost, Pandavas, it's like they're going back. That means it's victory for Kauravas. So that is expecting the moment he heard. But again, Sanjaya, through his chaturata, through his intelligence, because he's a pure soul, he's a Vaishnav. He spoke Parantapaha. Parantapa means chastiser of the enemies. That means he will, even though he came back, but he's surrendering to the Lord. And his consciousness is Parantapa, is chastiser of the enemies. That is, or for a time being, he's like that, but his natural state is that Parantapaha. So he told that, and then again, through those words, Dhritarashtra, Dhritarashtra's so-called little happiness was vanquished again. Now, why am I telling it is so-called little happiness? That is very important. Why it is called a so-called little happiness? Because anything which is coming through kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara, anything, it can be anything in this world. That means we might be President of America or Prime Minister of India or something else, or even top position than that. Doesn't matter. But if these things are there, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara, because the happiness which Dhritarashtra is actually perceiving is through that. What is that happiness? He's envious towards that person. Dear devotees, I'll tell something. If we see a particular photo and our heart is not responding correctly with that particular picture or that particular person, or when we see that person face to face, our heart is not responding to what our acharyas are telling, we need to understand we have envy with that person. Person. I'll tell another important aspect. You see so many personalities in this world. When they see the picture of Krishna, most of them they don't like it. Why? Because the attitude in which they are seeing is not right. That means the moment they see him, that particular picture, then they remember so many things. Oh, like Krishna has did that, Krishna has done that, has done that. Because they only remember those things. They don't remember Krishna lifting over the hill. That means anything which the Lord has done, they see through a negative perspective angle on it. This is exactly the nature of this world. That means it is a reflection. But in the spiritual world, how they see? With the joy, with the love, with the affection, with the Lord and his devotees. But here what is happening? Perverted reflection. Urdam ulam adho shaka. Perverted. Perversion comes in the material world alone. That is the theory, because anything which we see there in the spiritual realm, when it manifested here, it becomes a perverted reflection. Because anything you have to buy here, anything you have to purchase something, you have to invest something. That means you have to put your money or take that, give that. But in the spiritual world, there is no question of money. You get everything what you're supposed to get. That means whatever, in what way the personalities are leading their life in the spiritual world, it will be completely opposite here. For anything we have to learn here. There you get it naturally. Because in your consciousness, everything is given. Here we've been given only limited. Because to learn something also we need intelligence. Now that intelligence is being given by the law. Now through that intelligence, we learn here. And then another interesting thing is, even though we learn here, we kind of feel that I did it. For example, we are learning. Let's say we'll see a practical example. Let's say I opened up this Gita and then I'm trying to read this. Trying to understand what's been written here. Okay. But if my intelligence is not focused here, or if I don't feel sambandha with the Lord, or I don't feel the sambandha with the scripture, with the acharyas, then even though I continue to read that, I don't understand anything. That means what is happening here? For example, let's say if I give a 10th class book to a second grader, normal second grader, who normally goes to the school, doesn't have any extra features, he's a normal person. If I give a 10th class book, 10th class math, the second grade child, he would know some additions, some subtractions, some tables, some missing words, some sequence. He will tell those things. But if I give like a big trigonometry problem from 10th grade to second class, will he be able to understand? He will not. Now, why is he not understanding? Now, he has to learn that. So once he goes to 10th grade, once he learns that, then he can solve that problem. That means what is separating? Time is separating. His intelligence has to be matured. He should be matured. To that maturity, he should understand. Not speculation. He should understand. Then he will. Then it's a responsibility for him to take up that problem and then solve it. He will do it because he's in the 10th grader. But in the second grader, he cannot do that because his intelligence is not yet mature. Exactly, this aspect is a perversion in this material world. In the spiritual world, it's not like that. Just like Hanumanji in the spiritual realm, Hanumanji, he didn't remember that, that he is a person who will be going to find Sita. He didn't know that. And he didn't even remember that he can fly. He didn't know that he has those Shaktis, he has that empowerment in him. And that was hidden in him. Now, the moment Jatayu told him, Hanumanji, you can do this, then he got that intelligence. That means that intelligence is back. Now, who is removing the intelligence? Who is giving the intelligence? Please understand. To the second grader also, intelligence is given by the Lord. To the 10th grader also, intelligence is given by the Lord. Because Hanumanji has been kept in that state, but it's an instant thing. Because in which realm it is? It's not in the material plane. In material plane, what it looks is a little aspect of spiritual realm is being added into this material plane. That means a subset of the spiritual realm is added here. Completely is not given. Why it is not given complete? There is reasons for that also. Because our consciousness is not pure. We have impure mentality. We have a desire to enjoy for our own self. If nobody is watching, we'll get a desire to enjoy or whatever. Because who are we means we need to check ourselves when we are alone. How are we reacting to the thought-provoking situation? Srila Prabhupada says this. The magnanimity of a person is represented by how he is being dealing through thought-provoking situations. How is he reacting? If he is subdued to the material nature, that means his consciousness is still not yet purified. Rather, he's not subdued. He's remembering Guru, Krishna, he's remembering Acharyas. Then his mentality is correct. That means his mentality is elevated. His mentality is not in a perverted state. Because in the spiritual realm, that is what they have. As they carry the Lord and his devotees always in their heart, they get all these instant energies. Just like Hanumanji received that instant. That means when we see these personalities, Leelas, exalted personalities, pure souls, and also the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when we see these Leelas, what we understand is, oh, this, if you read through the material realm, it is not possible. A person flying is not possible. Do we see a monkey flying like that? It's not possible. In the material realm, it's not been given. But in the spiritual plane, it's been given. Please understand. What it has been given? In the spiritual plane, you get full strength. That is the whole point, dear devotees. Here in this material world, you see a reflection of the spirituality. That's exactly through that little teeny intelligence which we have, which we currently are perceiving right now. through the teeny intelligence, when we begin to think about them, what happens is manifestation happens. That means our independence is expanded. Please understand, the more we use our independence in the service of Guru and Krishna, the independence of that particular jiva is expanded. And that jiva will realize in his heart and heart that yes, my spiritual master's mercy is working on me. Acharya Srila Prabhupada's mercy is working on me. Srila Prabhupada is there today also. His mercy is also working on me. Krishna's mercy is also working on me. He is also here. He might be there in the spiritual world, but he is here also as a Paramatma sitting in our heart. That we will realize. Why? Because what are we doing? We are going as per the indications of the Paramatma. Here, Dhritarashtra, what is he doing? He is not going as per the indications of the Paramatma. Sanjay is going as per the indications of the Paramatma. Because due to that reason, he could able to see the truth. He could able to see what's happening in the Kurukshetra. Please understand. It has been given by Vyasadeva, his spiritual master. His spiritual master empowered him so that he can see what's happening in Kurukshetra. Why his spiritual master empowered him? Because he used all his intelligence, he used all his independence to please that particular person. To please Vyasadeva, to please Krishna. He used everything. That's why he's been gifted that. That please understand. Now, is any normal person is gifted like that? You don't want to in this material world. Let's say if a person, even in the material realm, there is a chief minister or prime minister. They don't just go and sit there like that. They've been given that charge. As per their prarabdha, they've been given that position. As per their constitutional position, what they have done in their previous life, they will be given that. As a token of appreciation or a respect, as a token of what he has done before. Just like as a token, if a person is kind of pious, he will be elevated to the heavenly planets. When a person is elevated to the heavenly planets, what's happening? Why is he elevated to the heavenly planets? Because he has done some good deeds here. Likewise, if a person has committed, has done heinous acts, he will be sent to the hellish planets. That means according to our action, according to our deeds, according to our will, according to our whatever. That means anything which is another thing here. In Kali Yuga, unless and until you put it in action, you will not get a reaction. But the problem is when the thoughts are coming in the heart, which are not supposed to, which we are not supposed to perceive, or which we are not supposed to act on. But when we are thinking about those thoughts, definitely we'll put that into action. Please understand, it's very important. What are we discussing? A thought, a negative thought which is coming in the heart, that has to be carved out. Negative thought cannot stay here. It has to be completely carved out. But if you're fanning that negative thought, you're not implementing, you're not putting in action yet. It is still in the aprarabdha state only. It didn't come to prarabdha also. It didn't come to prarabdha also. It's in unmanifested state only. But the unmanifested state, when we are thinking about the unmanifested state, what will happen is we'll put it into manifestation state. Because consciousness is working in the background. Through that consciousness, you're developing a desire. For example, I'll tell another easy way to understand this. For example, you're going in the freeway. You've seen a big boarding that, or you opened up your cell phone. You don't see boardings like that. US. You opened up a cell phone. You opened up YouTube. You're watching a video. But before that video, they played a small advertisement. You're not interested in that. You don't want to do that also. All of a sudden, it came in between. You're watching, let's say you're watching some video which is beneficial for you, for your education, for your children, something you're watching it with correct motive only. But when you see the ad before, that ad will put an imprint in the consciousness. That means Bija came. Now what will happen next is, when you see that ad repeatedly, few times more, that means what is happening to that Bija you are watering. From aprarabdha state, Bijam, Kutam, Phalam. Kutam means it's almost about to come. Phalam means you see the sampling coming out. That means now you have seen few times. Now that impression is sitting in your consciousness, and then that impression will not stay like that. It will force or push as a desire into our consciousness. Now, the moment it will begin to push that desire from the consciousness, then what happens? The intelligence and mind, they are working. If the intelligence is not fully loaded with Guru Sadhu Shastra, what happens? The intelligence will actually become friend to that desire. Now, when the intelligence becomes friend to that desire, what is happening? Then the mind will do it. Through the mind, senses will work. Now, mind, senses, and intelligence, they all are working. Why? Because of that desire. Now that unwanted just to begin, it just began through a small ad. It just began. That means that bija can come in any way. That bija, dear devotees, please understand. This is the whole reason why our Acharya says that we should be very, very careful with our dealings in this world. We should be very careful. We cannot let loose our consciousness in any way, in any shape and form. I remember what Srishrastra says, especially boys or prabhus, elderly persons also, 30, 40 years old also, not just only boys, 30 years, 40 years, even 50 years also, old also. He says you shouldn't put eye to eye contact with the Mataji and speak. Why? We don't know. We hear everything. No illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling. We hear everything. We know everything. We are initiated also. But still, that desire can come from anywhere. Please understand. Vishwamitra Muni, he meditated for 60,000 years. Then he heard Menaka's sound. Agitation. He came out of it. He came out of the tapasya. And then he did what he was not supposed to do. For those personalities, it's a great example. Srila Prabhupada says one should be very, very vigilant. He says, my disciples, they are not worried about this material nature a lot. Because they think that this material nature is okay. It will not trouble me. No, it will trouble us through so many things. That means that bija should be very, very carefully driven. This is the whole point. Our Acharya says that we should be busy always. If you are not busy, mind will cheat us. So mind has to be engaged in what way? It should be engaged busily. It shouldn't be free. Intelligence should be sharpened, mind should be engaged. Please understand. If intelligence is sharpened every day through Shravana Kirtana, we are chanting sincerely, we are hearing sincerely. That means intelligence is sharpened. That means we are feeling that relationship. And through this relationship, what is happening is mind will be engaged. Because if this is not sharpened continuously, mind will be dull. Mind will say, let's sleep, let's do this, let's eat that, let's eat this. Engage. That means mind should not be idle. See, if we are hungry, we will eat what we are supposed to eat. Krishna Prasad is wonderful. We'll eat Krishna Prasad. But if the mind is idle, what it does is it provides. That is exactly what is happening to Dhritarashtra. His mind is idle. This is the problem actually. Scriptures give us everything. The mind is idle. The mind is idle, what happens? Enemy comes. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara. They actually work. That means mind should never be idle. You should always think about Guru Sadhu Shastra. You remember a couple of days back we were discussing. Arjuna was ready to give up his entire kingdom. Not just that, he doesn't even want heavenly abodes. So what does that indicate? No, he understands. What is that heavenly abodes? His father is going through that. Indra is going through that. He understands what that position is. When those heavenly jewels or diamonds or bidecks or all those kingdom, name, fame, profit, adoration were all been given, what will happen? Krishna will go out. He understands that. That's why he says that, please understand, just to come out of the difficult state, he's telling these things. But if we go deeper, if we understand further, if we think about it further, we'll understand. If these things are given to us, Krishna will go out from our consciousness. As simple as that. That is the whole point. Why is he not happy? He's not happy in his heart. Why is he suffering? Because of this. Because Krishna kept him in a different state. Now for Arjuna, he has to be kept. But for conditions, we don't have to be kept. We are already there. Arjuna is a pure soul. He has to be forcefully. He has to keep. Yeah, Krishna has to keep Arjuna into that consciousness. He has to be there. But for the conditions also of this world, it's not required. Because Tatastha, as Jiva is Tatastha, he will use his independence for external energy only. Through that external energy only, all his dealings will continue. That is why, even though this material world is temporary, it looks permanent. Even though this material world is temporary, it looks permanent for us. Why? Because we kind of feel that we are here forever. Yes, that is true actually. In one way that is true, but in another way it is not true because it is temporary. Now that temporary which we are seeing, that is permanent for us. Now why the temporary is showing as permanent? Because of condition. Please understand. Temporary is shown as permanent because of the conditioning. For Dhritarashtra, that so-called that discussion which he is going through with Sanjaya, that 18-day battle is like a yuga for him. Because he has a big expectation out of it. The moment we have a big expectation out of it, then any small things, we will be bewildered because we might be wondering that our expectation is not being met. Dhritarashtra, the moment Arjuna says that he's fighting, again his heart is overwhelmed. The moment Sanjay said Arjuna is not fighting, he stopped, his heart is pacified. Again Sanjay says he's Parantap, again he is overwhelmed. Krishna is speaking, Arjuna is not fighting, again is. Please understand, this is a state because through attachment. Because I have an expectation. If we have an expectation in this world, please understand that will lead to, obviously we'll get another bodies. It's a known thing. If we have expectations, what happens is, we cannot stay in the present moment. You always think about the previous thing. We always think about the previous thing, what happened to us. And then we try to pacify the past. If that is rectified, if that is solved, then we'll be happy. Then we'll think about the future. What should I plan? What should I do this? Where should I do this? Where should I do that? All of these things, which neither have anything, which neither have any value or sustenance to it. Now, yesterday I was discussing with the devotees at the school, doing great services, very selfless souls. I was discussing that we all have a great responsibility. I was discussing with the principal, other devotees. What, what was the discussion is very interesting. The discussion is, the school has about 600 students and it will be increased in about couple of years to 1,000 for sure. But this increase, not just increase, the current thing also has a lot of responsibility. Lot of responsibility. Anything which you are doing for Guru Sadhu Shastra has a lot of responsibility for it. That's why you are going to office. It's a responsibility. But not just that, another important aspect which we need to understand, along with that responsibility, we have another important aspect is opportunity. For example, let's say you're going to office and then working. That's a responsibility. But if that responsibility is being done for the pleasure of Guru Sadhu Shastra, then it becomes an opportunity. What is that opportunity? Opportunity to actually impress those personalities. Who are those personalities? Spiritual master acharyas. Because when that opportunity is impressing those personalities, what happens is they become happy. Now, through this happiness, now opportunity came. Through responsibility, not just responsibility, we have a lot of opportunity. Responsibility brings gravity, opportunity brings hope. Please understand, both are important. Responsibility is important, opportunity is also important. When these both things combine, what happens is hope and gravity. Through hope, because we are hoping to be Krishna conscious, we are hoping to practice pure devotional service. And then gravity is what that responsibility is showing is, it will not allow us to deviate from this path, from this opportunity. Opportunity of all the souls to tune up their consciousness, to give them right realm, to give them right understanding of respecting the parents, respecting the teachers, understanding the principles of Gita, following, applying them in their life. What are all of these things? These things give them what? The greatest hope in the future of becoming Krishna conscious. Now, if that hope is perceived, what is happening? They become great. Just like Arjuna, here in this particular moment, has been kept in a difficult state. Now, the difficult state is giving him what? Giving him an opportunity. Opportunity of what? Opportunity to take further shelter. This is a problem. He's not leaving that problem. He's using that as a solution. The problem itself is becoming a solution by taking shelter. Please understand. It's a very important aspect, because the more we perceive the truth, what happens is the more we feel that it's a great opportunity for us to become Krishna conscious. Because the time will be used, engaged in the right perspective to please them, to lead a life, the rightful life. So that is the hope in this world. Now that is a shelter in this world. This is the ray of hope for us in this world. Please, we should think about that. Whatever we are showing in our heart, anything you sow, it will come back to you. If you are showing Krishna conscious, it will come back. If you are showing materialism, it will also come back. So what we want to come back, what we want to get, it depends on us. It depends on what kind of priorities we have, what kind of motives we have,
Yes.
what we need to cultivate, what we need to have. All these things have to be understood. Because Arjuna was pretty straightforward. He had a problem, he went to Krishna. He simply was an open heart. He shared, just like a child. When the child has a problem, if the child goes to the father or the mother, then conveys the problem. That means what is that? The child is expressing the problem. That means what is that? What is that indicating? The child parents have good relation, right? If the child has good relationship with the parents, then the child will express the problem. Now through that expression, the parents will solve the problem. But if the child doesn't have a relationship with the parents, good relation, then does the child hide the problem or share the problem? He will hide the problem. Hiding the problem is benefiting the child or obstructing the child. It is actually obstructing the child. That is what is happening. The relationship is not good. And the relationship is not good, then the message will not pass. That means the child will not express his problem to the parents because he's not feeling their presence anymore. Please understand. This is exactly happened in Arjuna's life. That should exactly happen in our life. We should have that personalities to share that. Please understand. We have that personalities to share that, then that is a great hope for us in this world. Because what happens is they would give a solution to those problems. Yes. This we need to pursue. This we need to understand actually. And then the more you begin to think about this, the more you'll understand this process is something wonderful. Why? I'll give the same example. The ad which we have seen before playing a video, the moment you see that ad, then you understand this is not mine, doesn't belong to me. Then what happens? You don't put focus or strength or intelligence or energy to that. When you don't put any of those things, but rather than you become jubilant, wow, exclamation.
Excellence.
When you're seeing through that, what is happening is that will actually enter into our consciousness. That will enter into our consciousness. This we need to understand because if you are
Exhalation.
even neutral, being neutral with that thought or with that receiving, when we are in the receiving end, even being neutral is not helping us. For example, you just left it on a neutral plane. That also will bring us back. How we should do it? We should put it, you should give a slap to it. We shouldn't put it in a neutral state. We should give a slap to it. The moment you give a slap to it, then what is happening? Then that will not manifest in the future. That means in the future, if it comes, you will give another slap. Then you will say, then you'll check your heart. See, my heart is like this. Krishna, see this heart. This heart is not good. Krishna Master, see, you are still accepting me, but my heart is not good. My heart is not correct. But still, by your mercy, you are accepting me. This thought should not come. Coming of the thought is okay. Acceptance of the thought should not be done. Or being in a neutral plane for that thought should not be done. That thought should be corrected at that particular moment. If the thought is coming again and again, you should correct it. Until it is gone. Until the thought is completely wiped off, we should correct it again and again. Again, this is their devotees. This is all mercy for us actually. It's a process. Krishna sitting in our heart is all watching us. He's all watching this thing. He'll watch us also. He will watch us. He will never leave. He will watch how sincerely we are trying to cut that. Then we are sincere to cut that, then eventually he will wipe that off from the consciousness. Because he's seeing that only. He's not seeing anything else. He's seeing our intent and content. Just like that responsibility brings the opportunity, because through that opportunity, only one will feel that this is the greatest service for me. Simply responsibility only will not help. It should combined with opportunity also. That means we should feel that this is the greatest opportunity. For example, if you have been kept in a particular thing or a particular service, it's not just a responsibility. Yes, we've been given by the Marshal, spiritual Marshal, we need to understand it's the greatest opportunity which we have been given. Likewise, our office, we go to office, we work. It's a responsibility. But that's an opportunity also. Opportunity what? To serve Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. If that opportunity is taken in that way, then the work will also become spiritual. Otherwise, work will remain work. That will not become spiritual. And if that is not becoming spiritual, it will not give satisfaction. Because yesterday I was discussing another aspect with another devotee that the life, he was sharing his heart because he also left his job and then came to the community and then serving. Very sincere soul. He got initiated from his own Japatak Swami Maharaj. He's been nicely training by our Shiksha Guru. And he shared one thing. He told me that I was asking, what's your feeling? Because you've been here since few months after giving up your job. How are you feeling? He said he's very happy. I said, you're not worried because you're not getting salary of that kind which you were getting before. Are you not worried? He said, no, why to worry? I'm not worried. Very happy. Because I want to lead this kind of conscious life where my family's been. He has two children just like us. One is 6-year-old, one is 1-year-old. Two children. Both are, one child is going to the school, but he's serving at the school. And he's telling I'm very happy staying with the devotees. All the teachers are devotees, no? They all have aspirations and goals of doing pure devotion service. They all have aspiration to please the spiritual master. Every person which I'm in touch since few days, because now I'm more actively participating and seeing what they're actually doing. So every devotee, every teacher, they're cooperating very nicely. Beautiful cooperation among themselves. If one teacher has a problem, immediately she will go to another person. Or he or she will go to another person. And then that person will solve that problem right away. But if he doesn't know, he'll go to somebody else. That's how they all working as a team. And then trying to please Guru and Krishna. Because our whole motive is to please Srila Prabhupada, to please his followers. Because if Prabhupada, his followers, they're all happy, then everything is happy. That is what is happening. When we are trying to please them, what happens? Independence increases. Please understand, I've seen these devotees since few years. Their independence has immensely increased. Their intelligence power has immensely increased. Their service has immensely increased. Their devotion to please spiritual master immensely increased. Why? Because they've been kept in that responsibility and then they took it as an opportunity. So this is the greatest opportunity for my life. Then they're serving very much. This coordination and cooperation is the key in any community. If this is applied in any community, keeping the spiritual master Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, Acharyas in our heart, and then leading in that way, then what happens? Visham Purnam Sukhanam. That's the greatest shelter. That's the greatest hope. And that is a solution for us. That is a solution for this kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara. Because they come. They come in the midst of association also. We need to check our heart correctly. We should be very, very vigilant. The consciousness should be very pure to stay in the midst of devotees and then serving them. It has to be pure. Otherwise, we'll do offenses. That's why we should always check our heart. Because if this is naturally coming, the respect towards the other person is coming naturally, this is a shirt in the spiritual world. Please understand. But when you are qualified to go to the spiritual world, the genuine respect is coming to every person we are saying. That is a perfect consciousness. This we need to aspire. This we need to practice more and more. I'll stop here. Anyone would like to add anything? Would like to share any questions? Any comments? Hare Krishna. Right. Hare Krishna. Anyone else would like to add anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Please tell them.
Questions is all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, very practical discussion.
Amma, 1 second.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, Mataji, please tell.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, as you mentioned about this thought-provoking situation, when this thought-provoking situation comes, so that is the test for us, that what we should act, right, Prabhuji? So, and as you mentioned also, like engage ourselves with hearing, reading, chanting, and also getting the association of right-minded devotee. That way we can counteract those thought-provoking situations. So, Prabhuji, yes, Prabhu, it's really very I should apply in my life also when such things comes. Maybe unknowingly something happens, and then later I think like why I should take that decision, etc. But with the, as you mentioned about that, practicing this more and more and more, I will be able to overcome that. And another, Prabhuji, that's a question to you, like as for some like some in one case, like if someone wants to leave the job, and and the family members, if they don't cooperate, Prabhuji, and is it like for them also, like who wants to go for 100% practice in Krishna consciousness, that's also struggle for them, right? But because sometimes someone, the situation comes like they want to devote fully into Krishna consciousness, and like doing job and Krishna consciousness, this always like it's like okay, kind of okay, first my preference is my job because I have to earn money, and then I will do the Krishna consciousness, unless the exalted devotee like you, who took that decision. So if the situation comes that family members are not cooperate with that kind of thoughts, how a person will pursue? You know what I mean? Like you have to be united, right, in your family, if everyone agrees.
Definitely, definitely. So, the best case, in that situation, is stay with the family and then, continue practicing. Because that is the best thing which we can do at that particular moment. But if they are also Krishna conscious, then the job becomes easy. If we have something for maintenance, then if you do some small some small job to sustain ourselves. And that is also good. But if it again depends on how family will react to it. If the family is accepting, is in a good state, then we can think about that. But if the family is not in that state, then it becomes difficult. And if we are the only bread maker, then it becomes even more difficult. But again, staying staying in a country like America, one should work continuously for sure. Because in America, we cannot just sit like this. When we cannot just sit by doing some small job or something like that. In US, you have to get decent salary, you have to maintain and everything. And then that is in one way, I see what is the advantage in staying in America is the advantage in staying in America is we can have some good good standard of life. Nobody will nobody will come and ask you what you're doing. We can do what we're supposed to do. If we are sincere, we'll practice Krishna conscious. But nobody will put us a force. But a disadvantage is you have to work until 60, 65 or even more. So that's the disadvantage because if we quit, then the maintenance is more in US. The cost of living is high, everything is expensive. But in the countries, especially in our home country, things are different. Especially if you are living in a big cities, that's also a problem because it's completely rajo. But you are not living in those big cities, you are living in small towns. Then what happens is it is not in complete rajo, either it is not in complete sattva. But through the association, we get an opportunity to come to sattva. That cannot be perceived. That cannot be done individually. Also. I remember my spiritual master telling, without association, independently, one cannot come to sattva because there are so many forces pulling the jiva in unlimited ways. The jiva can stop those forces only when he is having pure association continuously. And then through that pure association continuously, what is happening is his consciousness changes. Then he naturally comes to that state. But for that, strong association has to come. So individually, when we do or practice Krishna consciousness, what happens is it becomes difficult, especially in countries like America. That I observe because because America is what? Why we go to America just to earn money. So as a primary motive. And second is to have children good education. They will also repeat what? They also repeat the same thing. Now who's getting benefited? Nobody is getting benefited through that. Now what is happening? A valuable human form of life is gone into air. But your point and the question, which I'm trying to address few other aspects also. If the family is not in a position, one shouldn't quit one's job. One should continue what you do. So quitting one's job means one should have another service, another opportunity. And if the family is okay, then only one should do it. Otherwise, one shouldn't do it. One should continue where he is. And then through force also these things will not come. It has to become through, it has to be volunteer. In our entire community, I remember my spiritual master, he forced no one, zero. He forced zero. They all did voluntarily they all came. For me also, he said voluntary. If you are interested, only you come. Otherwise, you just continue there, what you are doing. don't come. You should have the desire. And then I'll tell another thing. I asked my spiritual master one question recently. Now I'm coming to the community. What should be the consciousness? We'll be dealing with different devotees. He said one thing. If you are aspiring for pure devotees, pure devotional service, you'll not have any problem. But if you're not aspiring for pure devotional service, you'll have problems. And he said, as you're aspiring for that, you'll not have any problems. Continue that aspiration, increase that desire to serve the acharyas more and more. And that is manifested. The problems, you will not see any problems in the coming. Because the jiva's natural propensity is to find faults. That means, even though he's been kept in a greatest thing, still he'll find problems. Shishupal, he was seeing Krishna, but he's seeing problems. He's finding problems. He's seeing Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's chastising Krishna also. On one side, Vishnudev was telling, don't stop doing that. What are you talking about? He was not stopping. Because that's the nature. That means the jiva if the jiva has been kept in any situation, if he has that problem to find faults, then he cannot survive anywhere. The fault finding mentality comes when his aspirations are wrong. He said if the aspirations are not pure devotion, then this process will become weak. Then the mind will tell, oh, you have done this, you have done that. So many things. Hare Krishna. So this thing we have to pass. That's why you should have the desires. What desire? You should aspire for pure devotee association. You don't have that desire. Forget about progress in Krishna consciousness. We'll just continue in the process. But when then what is happening? Are we not progressing? We are progressing. But that progress is a slow progress. It's not rapid progress. Let's say I'll tell an example. If you invest there is a land, somebody told that if you invest there, next 5 years, the airport will come there. Just giving an example. Government declared that in next 5 years, airport is coming there. Immediately after the declaration, you purchase land there. Now you have, let's say you have 10 lakhs of savings all through your life. Do you put all your 10 lakhs there? For sure it will increase. Or you put 1 rupee there. Or Baba, you put 10 lakhs there. Because it will work. Been declared, authorized by the government. Government said there is an airport coming there. The authorization, everything is signed off. This is exactly like this. Krishna consciousness is like that only. You know what you should do? What you should do in Krishna consciousness is another secret I'm telling. In Krishna consciousness, you should find best association. Because Krishna consciousness is only done in association. Krishna is giving you right intelligence. You should find that best association. If you find that best association, you should not leave that. Through that best association, what do you get? Because their aspiration is what? Their aspiration is not Dana Jana Sundar. Their aspiration is pure devotion. If their aspiration is pure devotion, what is association means? You get that pure devotion, you get that aspiration in your heart also. That is association. I remember spiritual master telling, what is real association? Real association is this, their heart will be transformed to you. That means whatever their thoughts are coming, whatever their consciousness, it will be given to you, gifted to you. See what is happening to Arjuna? Krishna's heart is transformed, right? Because Krishna's heart desire is what? To fight. Arjuna doesn't have that. For that, what he did? He surrendered. Then Krishna, what after the, at the end of the Gita, what Arjuna said? I will fight. Are before it was not there, now it is there. How it is happening? Association. He took Krishna's association. Supreme Personality of Godhead. Spiritual master. Krishna is spiritual master there. He took Krishna's association. And then through that association, what is happening? His heart desires are transformed to his heart. That is called as Sravana. Sravana is what? Sravana means exchange of heart desires in a simple language. Now, it depends on the sadhaka's motive. Now, what is my motive? If my motive is dhanajana, the heart desires will not work. But if the motive is to really please Guru Sadhu Shastra, then it will work. Just like if you want to convert the 10 lakhs into 1 crore, do you invest there? The land value will increase in 5 years. And after that, you sell it, you get the benefit out of it. Likewise, in that association, what is happening? Transforming of the consciousness happens. Then immediately you'll check. When the karma is coming, immediately you'll do, what is this karma coming in my heart? No, it shouldn't come. It should be curved out. That means what are you? Vigilant. Then what is that indicating? You're going internal. You're internalizing your consciousness. You're becoming more vigilant. Because that is what Srila Prabhupada told us. But just doing it. Now, in this way, is Srila Prabhupada not with us? In this way, his followers are not with us? They are with us only always. The more you think about this, the more you understand this, the more you serve them. You know, when you begin serving them, these desires will be thousand-folded. You'll never go away. You'll never take material association again. Because you're happy practicing Krishna consciousness. You'll never feel that, oh, I've given up so much. I've given this, I've given that. You feel that that's the greatest opportunity for me. Now, even after giving up the job, still I'm thinking how I can serve in money way to my spiritual master. I don't have a job, but still I'm thinking how can I serve? How can I use whatever little I have? How can I increase that? And then use that again in the service of the Lord. Because that initial giving of doing that service, what it invoked is, it invoked that purity in the heart. And then through that purity, what happens is we get happiness. Through that happiness, immediately when we connect again back to impure things, we get dejected. What is this? This is impure, it's coming. It's not mine. This is not mine. It doesn't belong to me. Now, these details we have to understand. That's what Arjuna, that is the whole point now. Why is he worried? Because impurity is coming. Why Arjuna is worried? Impurity is coming in the consciousness. That is the reason why he says, I will give up my life. Hare. I'll stop here. I think it's to stop. It's late. Is that okay, Ma?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, maybe tomorrow you can just clarify. You know, Arjuna is now saying he will not fight the war, but before that he surrendered. So is it? So how is it possible that he's taking a decision without without taking Krishna's opinion? So is it real surrender when he says he will not fight the war?
Sorry, can you ask that again?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Arjuna says he will not fight this war in this verse, right? So before that he said he's surrendering to Krishna. So is it real surrender when he's making a decision by himself that he will not fight? So is it so what he said that he surrendered and now he's saying he will not fight. So isn't there a conflict there?
Thank you. Yeah, we'll discuss that tomorrow.
Thank you,
Bhaswati Amma, is
Prabhuji.
it okay? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. If I cause any inconvenience through my words, please excuse me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone, and Pranam, all glories to Shri Prabhupada. Thank you for giving a wonderful Bhajan Vamsa Das Prabhuji, and thank you for giving a wonderful lecture to Govinda Das Prabhuji, our nurse, Dependent Vani. Thank you, everyone.